Hello and how you doing, and welcome back to another episode of Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes, and ladies and gentlemen, here on the podcast today, it is Interview Sunday, which means we have yet another very special guest joining us. He plays for Point Park University's men's basketball team and is transferring to Eastern Illinois this next season. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Naz Fisher. Naz, thank you so much, man, for coming on the podcast. I truly appreciate it. You're the second basketball player that I've interviewed here on the pod before, so how's everything going with you, my man?
It's been great. Nothing to really complain about. I've been enjoying my time since the season ended, trying to keep myself healthy, trying to just enjoy my time with my other seniors and other players.
Of course. Now, I've had Caden Warner on the podcast before. Caden, teammate of yours as well right now. And you're the second one. I'm hoping to get many more on here in the future. And my goodness, man, I've had the privilege to call some of your games this year doing play-by-play. And I got to tell you, you're a beast out there on the court, man. So kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. Just to let the audience get to know you a little bit, you were from Washington, D.C. Previously, you went to St. Mary's in Maryland, then came to Point Park University. What was that decision like? Why did you initially want to come here to Point Park?
Well, I started off, St. Mary's is a D3 school, and I felt the need to push myself harder. And so, thankfully, Kevin Reynolds gave me the opportunity to do that and really show me my potential.
That's awesome. So, showing that potential and being able to do that on the court here, I mean, you've had nothing but success these last two seasons with you being here as well. First year, winning the River State Conference championship game. I unfortunately wasn't here yet. I transferred in last semester, so I didn't get to witness that. But going back and seeing some of the stats and seeing what you did there, it was pretty cool with the team. And Caden Warner actually talked about saying that was one of his favorite moments of all time. What was that experience like for you?
The championship?
The championship, yep.
Oh, it was unreal. Just the season overall. Not losing until February, that was an unreal feeling. It was just something I had never experienced in my entire career. And I remember when it happened, it was just during the game, we played St. Mary's twice that year, and both games at halftime we were down, and so just the feeling of come fighting our way back, and then only winning by one, it was a different kind of feeling. It was the energy that was in the room, that everyone else in the crowd gave us, it made me shed a tear.
That's awesome, man. That's an awesome moment. So kind of going back in a time machine, I guess, for a second here, leading off of that, moments like that, and not just in basketball and sports in general, is what so many athletes strive to be. Same with broadcasters and media people like myself. Where did this love for basketball begin for you? When did this journey initially start?
So really, I've only been playing basketball for about, I'd say, 6 years. So I started playing basketball in my 10th grade year. I remember, I was a soccer player for most of my life, and I had a growth spurt. Mm-hmm. And the basketball coach in my high school, he was like, just try it for 1 year, and I tried it, and I loved it. It was just, I met most of my friends I have right now from back home are just players who are on my high school basketball team. And so I went there, and I kept progressing. As I saw myself quickly getting better, it made me want to practice more, get trainers, lift more weights, and ended up being what I do now.
That's amazing, man. That's an amazing story. And I mean, it's certain that you've been all over the place as well. I mean, being from D.C. and then coming to Pittsburgh, now eventually going to be on to Illinois. So you're kind of all over the place. So you get to experience a lot of different things. Was there any advice that someone maybe early on gave you that really pushed you and strive you to be where you are right now?
It was always go where you're wanted. That was my biggest advice I've been given to everyone. Always go where you're wanted, because regardless of what happens at where you're wanted, they're gonna make sure that you feel welcome regardless.
Facts. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So let's fast forward a little bit now and go back to where we are this season. This year was a pretty good year for Point Park. I mean, they made it to their first ever MEC playoff game. Season was a bit rocky, ended off on a 10-game losing streak, but the shocker in the first round against Frostburg State. What was those conversations like in the locker room during practices with you and your teammates, where you're going into the playoffs, you're the underdogs, you're already on a 10-game losing streak, and you shocked everybody and upset Frostburg State, which was a monumental game? What was those conversations like?
Oh, that we wanted it more. It was real simple. We had played them twice already. Both games didn't have the outcome we wanted, but as each time we played them, we knew what we going to do. We weren't going to let them just shut us out, and we knew that like it was simple. We wanted more than them that game, and man, that game was something crazy for me.
That was a crazy game. I was actually supposed to come down there. I unfortunately got the flu that week, so I was watching back at home, and I was just like, wow, what a game. It was a great game. And then even the game against Fairmont State, I mean, although that game in the quarterfinal wasn't the result we wanted either, still a great performance on both ends of the court. So absolutely phenomenal. What was that like, I guess, traveling down there to begin with? Did you guys, because during that 10-game span, I was on the call for the Salem game, and that was probably one of the more heartbreaking losses you guys had this year.
Yeah.
How were you guys able to overcome all that? Because you were talking about you wanted it more, you wanted to push for that. Was there maybe a piece of advice you were given, or maybe like a awakening moment during one of these practices that really just wanted to take you over the top?
I think it was just a heart-to-heart, like all the seniors. I think at one point we all, like throughout the year, all of us as seniors, like there was 5 seniors, we all got a lot closer. And it was just the fact that like we knew it was coming to an end soon. And it was either we go out fighting, or we go out just on our backs.
That's awesome. That's great. So was there maybe a moment that stood out to you guys this season? Like, do you have a favorite moment from this particular season overall? Because although there were some downs, there was a lot of ups as well.
Yeah.
So was there anything that maybe stood out to you, maybe like a funny moment or a favorite story that you have, you and your teammates?
A funny story. I think it was. So I think at one point we went. I can't remember what game it was, but we all as a team went to Burger King.
Oh gosh. What's your go-to Burger King order?
That was like I was a part. I don't really get Burger King.
Okay, that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Our coach kind of just gave us his card. So he gave us the team card and was like, "Okay, go ahead to go to Burger King." And the assistant coaches with us, and we went to Burger King. And I don't think anyone like told us how much food we can get. And I think each and every player proceeded to get like almost everything on the menu.
Oh my Lord, what was the bill like?
We didn't even see it. And like halfway through ordering, our assistant coach goes, "Okay, guys, but don't get a drink."
Like the drink's gonna change anything.
Don't get a drink. But all of us, I know I order like 3 Whoppers, like a 7 for $7. Like I got a lot of food, and we all like halfway through, he's just like, "Okay, guys, let's look at this bill real quick," and it was already like $200.
Oh my goodness, $200 with Burger King.
Yeah.
Walking away with what? Probably 20 Whoppers, 30 large fries,
Yeah.
a bunch of nuggets.
Everyone got a drink too.
Everyone got a drink.
Everyone got a drink.
Even no drink, but you know what? You can get a little fountain soda.
Yeah.
Why not?
If you didn't get a drink, you got a water cup, and then you already know you were doing what the water cup.
Yep. Wow, that's a funny story. So the whole team got everything off the Burger King.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. That's a great story. So I kind of want to go back in time for a second now. Going back to maybe your childhood, early years. You said something earlier that really caught my eye. You said you were a soccer player, and you didn't even play basketball until 10th grade.
Yeah.
Was there maybe a particular, like, I guess, training process or something that you went through to elevate your game? Because I'm not just saying this because you're here. You're one of the most polished players that I've seen, especially here at Point Park. And I want to give you some credit on that. Was there maybe something that you went through younger to, like, get you to where you are right now? Or are you just blessed with those skills like you are your height?
So everyone in my family were athletes. My uncles all had played D1. My mom was a basketball player. My sister was a volleyball player and a rower. Like it's just like I feel like just sports in general were in our genes. But when I started playing basketball, when I realized that like I really enjoyed it, I remember I got a trainer who was a former NBA player, and I would be school. Actually, I'd wake up, lift with my school team at like 6 a.m. Go to class, practice, then I would go to training and repeat every single day for like 3 years straight.
Wow. The grind really pays off.
Yeah.
Grind really pays off. And I mean, the grind is certainly paying off with where you are right now. Eastern Illinois, correct me if I'm wrong, Division I school that you're going to. What was that decision like? What made you want to transfer to Eastern Illinois?
They're just a loving group. Like even on my visit down there, they were so like, they were excited to have me there. They were real nice to me the whole time. The facilities are great. Team is great. And it's just giving me a chance to, like, get another ring. I definitely want to see me on that March Madness tournament, and they're giving me a chance to do that.
That's amazing. That's a great goal to have, being able to play March Madness. So, Eastern Illinois, you said you want to transfer there. Was there like a selling moment that, like, the moment you had that visit, you're like, I want to go here? Because I'm assuming you probably met with other schools and probably did some more research on it. What was the defining moment where you're like, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to call home?
Well, it definitely, like, they gave me that home feeling. Like, they treated me like family when I was down there.
So, like, the vibe you got, I mean.
Yeah. Like, I didn't feel like I was going into just another school. Like, feel like I was going into a whole nother family. And that's something that, like, leaving here that I'm going to miss. Like the guys here, my team here, they're my family. And I feel like I'm not leaving my family. I'm just joining another family. And that's a good feeling.
That's a great mindset to have, man, because, like, we see this with so many college athletes out there. Like, so many college athletes want to go for the NIL, go for the money. Yeah. And I can tell you have a good heart with that, because it's not like you're leaving to go screw over your teammates. You're leaving because this is another opportunity for you to showcase your talent, which you truly have, and it's joining another family, joining another brotherhood. And I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So that's amazing. So I guess, where do you see yourself in 5 years now? You've made a mark here at Point Park. You plan on making a mark at Eastern Illinois. Maybe looking 5 years ahead, where do you see Naz Fisher?
I'm hoping to be able to play pro. That's like
the goal.
That was my goal at the end of this season, and then obviously the NAIA rule change allowed me to have one more year, and so I thought, what's the pain in going somewhere I can get better, and so the goal really is to be able to play pro, be able to obviously make some money, but be able to just, like, explore different cultures of different people, hopefully overseas, and really get to explore my talents even more.
Have you made, I guess, a direct game plan on how exactly you're going to do that professional transition? Because you brought up a great point. Overseas, there is so much talent over there. And then obviously there's G League here in the United States. The NBA is obviously the long-term goal for so many athletes. Is there, I guess, a direct plan on where exactly you want to go, or are you just going to ride the wave and see where it takes you?
Right now, I'm just planning on riding the wave. Definitely my coaches, like, here and at Eastern, they definitely have already talked to me about, like, my goals going forward, and definitely I know will help me get there.
Of course. That's amazing, man. So we brought up the NBA. It was a little off topic, but right around the time you're on this podcast, the NBA playoff service is going on. I'm assuming you're probably keeping up with it as long as your teammates. What's your early predictions like on that, man? Who do you got in the NBA Finals this year?
It's OKC.
OKC?
That's my team.
That's your team?
That's my team.
Okay.
So I definitely have OKC. And, the East is hard.
Yeah, the East is tough.
Out of the East, like, the easy answer I could say would be the Celtics, but I'm really thinking the Cavs.
Okay.
I think that they're defensively, they're just really too dominant, and offensively, they're just monsters too.
Absolutely. I mean, something that we talk about in the NBA a lot is, like, so many teams have duos. So many teams have, like, those two key players you can, like, centralize around.
Yeah.
With the Cavs, I mean, their ability to spread the court. You got Mobley. You got Garland. You got Mitchell. You got so many different players you can go to, and it's such a cool transition within their offense. So, yeah, I agree with you. I got the Cavs going out of the East, but I'm not going to lie, man. Them Nuggets, Jokic, it's always hard to bet against Jokic.
That's the thing right now. After watching the last, like, two Clippers, Kawhi is a monster.
Kawhi is a monster.
And I think that, like I love Jokic, and I definitely think he deserves MVP. Like, even though I'm an OKC fan, I think.
Oh, whoa, you're saying you're an OKC fan, but you want Jokic MVP over SGA? Oh, okay. Yeah. I think you're the first OKC fan in America to admit that.
Yeah, Jokic is a dog. People might hate me for that take, but he's just a dog, and
I respect it.
Like, it's just unheard of from a center be doing things like that. And as a center, like, it's been inspirational for me.
Of course, yeah, you're the center, so I mean, Jokic is definitely someone to look. I mean, he's a walking triple-double.
Yeah, that's
is Jokic. So,
like, even the loss yesterday, he still had a triple-double. So I definitely think they're gonna have a hard time with Kawhi. If Kawhi stays healthy, he's a top 10 player in the league right now.
See, now here's the sad part about the NBA playoffs. I'm a Bucks fan. Obviously, Damian Lillard going down is one thing for us. Giannis looks amazing as always, but isn't what we're used to seeing. What's your opinion on my Milwaukee Bucks? You think they have any chance of anything?
I think that for them to win, like even go past the second round, Giannis has to play out of body. Because right now I can't see them winning with Kyle Kuzma as the second option.
Pains me. The depression's already sitting in, man. It's
Yeah,
already sitting.
I love the Bucks, and I definitely love Giannis, and I love that he even like right now he's still top 3 MVP votes, and he's definitely is not a player who doesn't deserve the MVP. He definitely deserves it after his season. It's just that I feel like he doesn't have the supporting cast around him right now to really like help him. Like only one player can only do so much against a stacked teams.
Facts, no. And I mean, losing a Chris Middleton, a Drew Holiday, I mean, that's eventually going to do some damage. I mean, they were a part of that championship winning team from a couple years back.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one. And Kyle Kuzma, I respect Kyle Kuzma. I like him, but I mean, come on. That can't be the second best player that you rely on.
Like, I think he's a good player, but I think that to have him, he's not a good player as a second option. Mm-hmm. I think that's too much pressure for him. I think that he's still I still consider him a young player. I feel like he needs the older players to really give him confidence, and with that, he doesn't really have that on that team.
Not at all. Not at all. So you said you're an OKC fan. That's, I'm assuming, your favorite NBA team. Yeah. And you're from DC, so and you live here in Pittsburgh right now. I want to find out what your favorite other teams are. Do you have a favorite NFL team, MLB, NHL, or is it just OKC?
I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay, you are a Steelers fan.
I was even before coming to Pittsburgh, before even knowing I'm coming to Pittsburgh, I was a Steelers fan. I got Steelers gear in my crib. I got Steelers blankets. Baseball, I don't really follow too much. I've gone to a lot of Nats games. I've definitely gone to a couple Capitals games.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say I follow them too much.
So you don't follow hockey and baseball, really? It's mostly just basketball and football.
Yeah, even football, it's to an extent. It's to an extent.
To an extent. So you're not fully invested in it, but you'll still root for the Steelers here and there. Okay. Do you, I guess, have any expectations for them this upcoming year? Draft right around the corner.
I'm hoping the Steelers get a quarterback.
So you don't trust the whole Mason Rudolph era right now. You're like, no.
But otherwise, I think the Steelers will be good. I think even with their struggles this year, they did pretty well. So
yeah, no, they did. Still putting together a winning season. Still being able to get to the playoffs. But outside of that, not much more success from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pittsburgh Steelers fan from DC, and then OKC fan. Those are your go-to.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's a lot of OKC fans here at Point Park, I noticed. Do you believe a lot of them are bandwagoners just because of how good SGA in this team is, or do you really think there is genuinely a lot of Oklahoma City Thunder fan out there? Because I've noticed so many people in jerseys here. I'm like, there's no way you're all OKC fans.
Well, I think so. I think a good bit of them might be SGA. Because he also has a good social media following and things like that.
That's fair.
But I think there are a good bit of truth OKC fans here.
Okay.
And there's definitely a lot of reason why. Because the last couple of years, people love Chet, people love Lou Dort, Jalen Williams. So it's definitely a good reason to support them right now.
Of course. And it's weird here being in Pittsburgh because we don't have an NBA team. So, so many people either lean towards the Cavaliers because they're close by, or the 76ers, or there's even a couple of Knicks fans here, too, which I feel bad for them. But there's all kinds of fans everywhere. So it was interesting when I saw so many Oklahoma City fans, and I was like, wow. I mean, I'm probably one of 3 Bucks fans in the entire Steel City, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel like there are definitely a lot of Cavs fans here. I've met a good bit of Cavs fans.
Yeah.
Definitely some Philly fans. Ooh. Philly.
Is that Philly not nope.
No, I'm not a fan.
We don't mess with Philly fans?
No. I was definitely not rooting for the Eagles this year.
Oh, so you're on the Chiefs side?
Yeah.
That's totally acceptable on my end because my dad's actually a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So I had to watch. I'm a Cardinals fan, unfortunately, but he's a Chiefs fan, so I was watching him at the TV all day. So that was pretty cool. So no Eagles, no Sixers, no Flyers.
No.
Screw Philadelphia, pretty much.
Yep.
Then go to hell.
Yeah. Not a fan of them.
That's totally valid. That's totally fair. So, Oklahoma City Thunder, you think they're going to be in the championship probably against the Cavs, if that's correct. So, I'm assuming, how many games you got the Thunder in this year? Thunder in 5, Thunder in 6?
Thunder in 6.
Thunder in 6, you think they're going to get a couple losses in there?
Yeah, definitely going to get a couple losses, but definitely going to be Thunder in 6.
That's fair. And SGA, man, I mean, he's such a talented player. And that series last year in the playoffs, I mean, whenever they lost in the Western Conference Final, it was heartbreaking because they have so many young players out there too. And you think they would be able to go over the top. Mavs were just one step ahead. I mean, Luka's amazing. Look what he did in LA with the Lakers recently. What was it, 31 points or something like that. So we can see where that happened there. But my goodness, this Thunder team, man, it's talented. It really is
Yeah.
talented. You got a good team to root for.
And they even add, like, they lost none of their core. They didn't gain. They gained Caruso, they gained Hartenstein. Like the pick and roll between Hartenstein and Chet right now is just dangerous. And I don't see how many teams can deal with that on top of SGA scoring, Lou Dort's defense. Like, it's insane.
It is insane. It is insane. And I mean, I kind of want to go back to your career here for a second too, because when we're talking about the NBA players, like there's so much preparation that goes into those games. There's so much preparation in the film room and practices, obviously in the gym, lifting weights. What is, I guess, your game day routine like, or maybe pre-game routine? Is there a certain meal you go to? Is there a certain spot at the gym? What's like a game day for Nas Fisher?
Average game day. Normally, so we'll have, let's say it's a home game, and the game's at like 7.
Mm-hmm.
We'll usually do a little walkthrough at 1. So I'll probably wake up around 11, make some food, and I'll hit the trainers at like 12, warm up my knees, do my exercises, just try to get my body warm for the walkthrough. Then we'll go through the walkthrough, run through plays, defensive sets, and then that'll be it. Get our food for the game, and then probably get to sleep. I'll probably just sleep until like 5. Leave at 5:15, and once we get to the game, usually I'm the last person up. Like I'm usually the last person up, and just because I like to take my time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely just not in a rush. I don't like having to wait for the wait upstairs. I don't like that. Give me jitters sometimes.
Yeah.
But I get up there. I'll usually get my ankles taped. Do whatever treatment I gotta do with the trainers. A lot of time I have the trainer stretch me when I'm up there. I'll have our strength coach stretch me, and then around game time, that's when we'll get like the motivational speeches from the coaches, things like that. And I wouldn't say I have anything specific I do. I like to wear my jersey when I go up.
Always with the jersey, okay.
Yeah, I don't like to. Some days I like to wear like undershirt, but a lot of times I like to have my jersey on already.
So you're talking like for like the pregame, like when they usually have the shirt over top of it, you would rather just go out there just in your jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to go out with my jersey on. I usually like to just go up when I'm going up. I'm fully ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how I go about it. Take my earrings out, necklaces off, and right when the game goes, like right before the game, I like to just clear my mind. I like to just have no thoughts at all, like no outcome of the game, nothing. I just want to go play by play.
That's awesome. Now, how do you clear your head with that? Because I know so many different people do different routines. Some people have like a go-to song they listen to. Some people have like a go-to like speech or whatever they want to give. Is there something that you do to clear your thoughts, or is it just sitting there, just you and your thoughts?
You know, it's real random. But I listen to Zach Bryan.
Really? Okay.
Again, I listen to Zach Bryan.
So you're a country fan, or is it just Zach Bryan?
I'm a country fan, but it's specifically for the games, Zach Bryan.
Is there a go-to Zach Bryan song? Because you're talking to a big country fan right now, so that's pretty cool, actually.
Okay, it goes. I usually put the first song as Something in the Orange.
That's a banger. Okay.
Burn, Burn, Burn.
Another one.
And 68 Fast. Is it Fastback?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Fastback. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then that's right there.
That's awesome. Wow. So Zach Bryan is what gets you ready to go in these games.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire, man. You know what? I respect the hustle with that. I really respect that because I'm a big country fan, and I thought I was the only one that listened to country music on the way here. So at least I can relate to you on that. Do you have like a go-to country singer, or is it Zach Bryan is your go-to guy?
Zach Bryan is definitely my go-to. I definitely have a couple more, but they're just like maybe 1 or 2 songs.
Okay, so like Zach Bryan's like the only one that you're like, okay, I like most of your music, and then the other ones, if it's on, you'll jam to it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow, that's actually so cool. I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah.
So Zach Bryan is the go-to to clear your thoughts. And what's it like as soon as the AirPods or headphones come out? Is it just locked in, game time, ready to go? You're just there.
Like, I remember there were a lot of times when like I would have family come to the game or friends come to the game, and I wouldn't even know they're at the game because like if it's not in that little box, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not going to see it. And it was a different kind of. Like, I remember senior night. I remember like at halftime, like senior night's probably my best game I've ever had.
Yep.
And I remember looking up and I see this flood of people I know, and it was like I didn't even know they were there until like halfway through the game.
Oh, because you were just that locked in and that
Yeah.
invested. That's awesome. And being able to concentrate your mind to be able to focus on that. That's so cool. There was another game that you had this year that I wanted to ask you about. It was when you're on the road against West Liberty, the West Liberty game that you guys went to their court. I was actually on the radio call for that game. And that night, I don't know if you passed it up again or not. I apologize for not looking it up in advance. But that night, you had the most rebounds you had in your career. I think you actually set a record that night.
It was the game right after that.
It was the game right after that.
That game definitely led up to it.
That game led up to the rebound. I think you're like 2 or 3 away or something like that.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3 away that game, and then the game right after that's when I broke it.
That's when you broke it. When did you find out about that? Like, did you know going into that game you were already there, or was it like a coach let you know? Or
I had no clue. I remember it was actually so after that game, like I had 22 at West Liberty.
Yep.
And then right before that game, I remember Caden actually, and he was like, you know what? I need you to go for it. He was like 26. Go for 26 rebounds. And I didn't know at the time, but like I didn't know about the rebounding record. I wasn't even thinking about that. But I looked at it, I was like, nah, that's crazy. I said, that's crazy. And at halftime, my coach looks at me and says, Nas, you have 16 rebounds at half. And my first thought is just that's crazy. I didn't
yeah.
and it's crazy. And then by the time the game was over, and like coach walks in, looks at me and says, "You're a monster."
Wow.
And it was an unreal feeling because he's not a big guy on praise, but when you deserve it, he'll give it to you. And he was just like, "You're a monster." And he gives me the stat sheet. I look at it, and I just see 25, and I'm like,
one more.
at least I tied it. I tied it at least. But I never thought I would. That just feels crazy to me.
Yeah, that's such a wild moment because I remember I was with I don't know if you know Tyler Beck or not.
Yeah.
Tyler Beck was sitting up there with me, and he was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And I'm looking, I'm like, do what? And then he shows me the sheet. I'm like, oh. So the entire time we're on the broadcast, because I was on play-by-play, he was on Keller, and we were just at the entire end of that game. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to that broadcast. We were just like, and Fisher's gonna do it. Fisher's gonna do it. And it was just such a cool moment being able to call that. So I can only imagine what it was like finding out afterwards and actually being there in the moment for it.
It didn't feel real. Like I never, like I didn't think I was gonna. Like even coming into the season, I didn't think I was gonna be have like as many 20 rebound games as I did.
I assume you're taking. I mean, I'm trying to think how to word it. You're probably taking an ass beating down there in the paint, aren't you? Like. 20 rebounds, you're probably like down and dirty down there.
Oh no, I would leave the game sore, hurting, limping. Like I would be like after the game, like I'm just going straight home.
Yep, going straight home. Well, is there like a moment, I guess, this year where maybe you like took a fall that hurt a little bit too much, or like that maybe an elbow to the face, scratch on the arm? Was there any bad moments from this season with that? Because I mean, 20 rebounds, man. I mean, it comes with work. You really got to do a lot of work down there to get it.
I think it was when we played Glenville. It was an away game. We played Glenville. And I remember I was going to like for a layup, and all of a sudden like I just see my eyes just like go up, and I'm just fully vertical, and I fall flat on my back.
Oof. And
I remember it just knocked the wind out of me. I think that was probably one of my worst falls this year.
Wow.
Like if you watch the video, you could really just see me like I jump up and immediately just turn. Like fully, my feet are just above my head.
So you're just like upside down.
Yeah.
You're just like Shawn Michaels, feet up in the air, head on the ground.
Like,
Yep.
like it was a scary fall for me.
Oof. And hey, you were probably able to get right back up and finish that game strong.
Definitely did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What advice would you give to some other basketball players that are looking to go into college, chase a dream with basketball? It's a very competitive sport in that regard. You know that very well from all the time that you've played. What advice would you give to a younger hooper?
The best advice I can give is just give it your all. Like one thing I think my coach this year always told me was just give your all, every effort you can, every single play. And that was something that like I definitely took to heart. Like he said, no matter like if you're doing good or bad, just if you give everything you are, he'd rather you give everything you had than just play bad and just accept it.
That's awesome. That's some great advice. And you can honestly take that advice and apply it to almost anything you do in life as well, whether it's, I guess, in business or cosmetology. That's what my sister wants to do. You can pretty much apply that to anything that you want to do in life.
As long as you try your best, like you'll get somewhere.
Of course. So this podcast is called Two Jagoffs. We usually have a second Jagoff, Lucas Coons, my good friend, who is my co-host. He unfortunately could not make it today, but he did want me to ask a question on behalf of him today.
Yeah.
And that is, since you've been here in Pittsburgh for quite some time now, is there a go-to restaurant that you have here in Pittsburgh, or a go-to place to grab some food?
Is Tequila Cowboy an option?
Okay. I mean, it could be an option. Just go-to place, I guess, that you have. Tequila Cowboy.
Definitely Tequila Cowboy. Definitely like going there.
Okay.
So this is Thai spot up the street.
Okay.
Called Siam Thai. And I think for the last 2 years straight, I've gone there around 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
To the point where like I'll walk in and everyone who like no matter who's like up there, like they know my order already. Like,
What's the order? It's
just shrimp pad Thai with spring rolls.
Oh, that sounds fire, actually.
Yep.
Okay.
And I usually go there around like 4 or 5-ish. And like every time I walk in, they don't even tell me, like they don't even ask me for my orders. They just tell me then how much it is, and they just have me pay.
Wow, that's hilarious. They just go in there, just like, all right, thank you, appreciate you.
And it's 5-10 minutes, and it'll be ready. I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Lucas, for the question on that. And I think the best way to end off today's episode is having a little fun. We do a little game show every week on the podcast. So I think we're gonna play a game called STBC. It's called Start, Trade, Bench, or Cut, and I'm gonna give you 2 different scenarios, and you're going to have to decide whether or not you're starting it, trading it, benching it, or cutting it.
Okay.
And we're actually going to start off with a restaurant one. And these are just fast food places. I don't know how big you are in the fast food or anything like that, but fast food's always reliable when you need like a last-minute meal or whatever. So first up, I'm going to give you Chick-fil-A. Then I'm going to give you Wendy's, McDonald's, and Arby's. Those are the 4 I'm going to give you. So it's totally up to you, however you want to go about this.
I'm going to trade Chick-fil-A.
Really? Okay.
I'm gonna start McDonald's and gonna bench Wendy's. What's the last option?
Arby's.
And
just cut Arby's.
Yeah, it's gonna cut Arby's all the way.
You don't mess with Arby's?
No.
No Arby's. Do you even eat at any of those places, or?
I definitely do. I definitely had a lot of Chick-fil-A this season. That's one of the go-to meals of our coach.
But you traded it. You got rid of it.
Because it just doesn't work well with my stomach. It definitely wasn't. My stomach was definitely not a fan of it.
So is it like also the pricing too? Because Chick-fil-A is a little more pricier than the other 3 places.
Oh yeah, definitely that. I think I get more food at the other places for a lot cheaper.
Okay, so McDonald's and Wendy's is probably the go-tos.
Yeah.
Go-to for then. Is there a go-to meal at McDonald's, or is it just kind of whatever?
I usually get like a 20-piece nugget and like a double quarter pounder.
Okay. Basket of fries on top of that as well, or?
I'm not really a big fan of the McDonald's fries.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm weird about like some days I'm really into it, and some days I'm just not.
Some days you're like I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Is it like a French fry thing, or is it just like the McDonald's fry thing?
I think it's the McDonald's fries. Unless they're like really hot, I can't get it either.
That's fair. No, like whenever they're not cooked and like they're barely salted, it's like it's like chewing cardboard. So I get it. So it's not that good. All right, well let's do one more STBC then. This one you kind of already said earlier. You really don't follow these sports as much. So I'm actually going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to give you basketball. Okay. I'm going to give you football, volleyball, and soccer. I originally had hockey and baseball in there. You said you really don't care for hockey and baseball as much. So, and you could take this however you want. You don't have to take it as playing it. You can also take it as like a fan's perspective, like from a viewer standpoint.
Okay.
It's up to you.
It's hard. So we're going to put basketball up there.
So basketball is going to get the start here.
Gonna bench. I'll bench volleyball.
Okay. Volleyball's going to the bench.
Okay. Go trade soccer. No. I'll cut soccer and trade football.
So trade football. So it's like football is like the little more value thing here. So soccer, you would rather volleyball than soccer.
Yeah.
Is that because I guess volleyball experience from in the family in the past? Or?
Definitely. I feel like it was every time I've been to a volleyball game, even at Point Park, it was always just a fun time. And I definitely had friends on the volleyball team this year, and I feel like it's a really good energy sport.
Oh, yeah. It's always fast-paced. I mean, I lean more towards the fast-paced sports, like volleyball, basketball. Like, don't get me wrong, I love baseball and soccer, but it's kind of snooze fest sometimes.
Yeah,
you're just sitting
sometimes
there.
you're just sitting there just kind of chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you go to the Pirate games, like, if you're not in the box and you're not getting, like, speaking with people or hanging out, like, it's kind of whatever. I mean, it's also the Pirates, too, and they're atrocious, but that's a different story. So you're starting at basketball is obviously the start here.
Yeah.
And then soccer. Even when you played soccer, you still cutting it.
Even when I played soccer, I know that like, it's a sport that like it can be very slow paced. Like there could be like moments in the game where it's just high energy, but I feel like a good 50-60% of the game is really just watching them pass back and forth.
Yeah, it's just kind of back and forth over the line. What position did you play when you played soccer?
I played right midfielder.
Okay, right midfielder. Ever played goalie or goaltender?
I tried.
Like that?
I remember the last year I played.
Certainly got the wingspan for it. So
Yeah, definitely the last year I played, I definitely tried goalie. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't the type of person like knowing how hard I can kick and knowing how hard my friends like in practice could kick. I didn't want to be in front of the ball for that.
Honestly, that's fair. That's fair. I know they do this thing in practice too. I don't know if they do it here, but I've seen it in high school where like everyone lines up and they just kick as many balls as they can at you at once. You have to try and dodge as many as you can. Hell no. That sounds like a nightmare.
That's
I'm good.
Absolutely terrible.
I'm good with that one. That's like playing basketball and just getting a bunch of balls fired at you. Like, no, I don't need that happening. This ain't dodgeball. We're not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't do it.
Well, Naz, I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast today. Was there any social medias or anything that you wanted to shout out before we end off today's episode?
No, I think that's about it. All
right, well, hey, I really do appreciate you coming on. You are more than welcome to come on anytime, as if the rest of the basketball team. We brought Caden on in the past, which I got to tell you, Caden Warner, I say this all the time to him, and I'll tell you this as well. I believe that was the best piece of professional work I've ever done. I talk about it all the time. He came on, and it was the second interview we've ever done. The first one was a high school football player from back at home, and he came in here. And between the broadcasting that I do, the podcasting, all the other outside projects, I tell him all the time, I'm like, this is one of the best piece of works that you've ever given me. I don't think you understand. And you coming on doing the same as well. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Caden's definitely a good dude to have on. And hey, if you ever get the chance, you can try and get us both on.
Hey, I'm so down. Maybe I'll get my coach Jagoff if he actually shows up. If we can get us two on this side, you two on that side.
Yeah.
Do a little joint podcast together. That would be sick.
But it was definitely fun to be here today.
Thank you, Naz. Appreciate you as always, man. Thank you so much. More than welcome to come on anytime. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future endeavors at Eastern Illinois, wherever your career takes you, man. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Two Jagoffs. Make sure you stay tuned for this Thursday where me and Lucas will go through and recap the NFL draft. Until next time, we will see you in the next one. Peace.